Now shifting focus from agriculture to tourism. China's economic gloom is now showing up in another place, that's overseas travel. Chinese tourists are still traveling abroad, but they are taking fewer trips and increasingly choosing destinations that are closer to home. A new forecast suggests the recovery in outbound tourism is slowing as economic uncertainty, safety concerns, and geopolitical tensions reshape where Chinese travelers spend their money. For years, Chinese tourists have been a major force in global tourism, but that spending boom is now losing some momentum. China Trading Desk has cut its forecast for Chinese outbound travel in 2026 to around 179 million trips, with travelers expected to spend about $258 billion at destinations. That is nearly 3% lower than the forecast that was made in June. Still, the numbers remain above pre-pandemic levels. In 2019, Chinese travelers made about 175 million outbound trips and spent roughly $255 billion. And despite the downgrade, 2026 travel volumes are still expected to be 7% higher than last year. So what is changing? Well, the key issue is consumer confidence. China's property slump and broader economic concerns are making consumers more cautious about discretionary spending, including expensive overseas holidays. The West Asia conflict has also disrupted some long-haul travel. The result is not that Chinese consumers have stopped traveling. Instead, they are becoming more selective about when and where they travel. And that is changing the global tourism map. Closer destinations are gaining ground, with Hong Kong and Macau accounting for nearly 40% of China's outbound market. Hong Kong alone is expected to receive around 41 million trips this year. But there is a catch. The average visitor spending there is only around $310 per trip. Compare that with France. France is expected to receive just 2.2 million Chinese trips, but average spending is estimated at around $7,622 per visitor. So, fewer travelers can still mean much bigger tourism revenues. South Korea is emerging as one of the biggest beneficiaries of this shift. It is expected to attract around 7 million Chinese visitors and nearly $13 billion in spending, about $1,815 per visitor. Japan, meanwhile, is losing Chinese visitors amid diplomatic tensions and safety concerns. Chinese airlines have reduced capacity to Japan, and Chinese arrivals are now expected to fall to around 4.1 million this year. That's more than half the previous level. Thailand is also losing some appeal amid concerns over scams and tourist safety. So, the Chinese travel recovery has not stopped, but it has changed. The number of trips is under pressure, while travelers who do go abroad are still broadly maintaining their budgets. For the global tourism industry, that means the bigger question will be not simply how many Chinese tourists are traveling, but where they are choosing to spend.